Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
We begin with that developing story. A sonic boom rattled nerves across Washington, D.C. yesterday. We now know it was caused by F-16 fighter jets traveling at supersonic speed, tracking a small jet that entered restricted airspace. That jet crashed in Virginia.
The plane, a Cessna Citation, initially headed to Long Island's MacArthur Airport, and on board, along with the pilot, a mother, her 2-year-old daughter, and a nanny, all returning to their home in East Hampton. ABC's Rena Roy joining us now live with the latest. Rena.
Yeah, David and Michelle, when this boom rang out across the D.C. metro area, people were calling 911 to report it because there were a lot of questions about exactly where it came from. Turns out that sonic boom was caused by fighter jets, as you said, breaking the sound barrier to track that plane in the restricted airspace.
Scary moments in the nation's capital Sunday. A sonic boom heard for miles across Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area.
Very jarring.
We thought it was probably an earthquake.
People on edge as authorities work to figure out the source. Officials say a civilian jet aircraft, a Cessna Citation, flew through restricted airspace, the pilot failing to respond to air traffic control. U.S. military quickly launching 6 F-16 fighter jets from 3 bases to track the plane as it headed south into Virginia. 2 F-16s over Washington having to travel at supersonic speed to catch up with the Cessna jet, creating that sonic boom that reverberated across the region. The Cessna spotted at 34,000 feet over a remote area in Virginia. The pilot still not responding. The fighter jets even firing flares to try to alert the civilian pilot. But officials say the pilot appeared to be unconscious. The plane likely ran out of fuel, taking a dive and crashing 10 minutes later in a rural area, killing all on board.
The aircraft was at 34,000 feet. It stayed at 34,000 feet, and it stayed on a constant heading. So it didn't seem like it was a big threat.
Some experts believe a lack of oxygen, a condition called hypoxia, may have incapacitated the pilot and passengers.
Pressurization on an airplane compresses the air in the cabin to make sure that there's enough oxygen so that you can survive, and sometimes that pressurization may fail.
Now, aviation experts say there was really no way to help land this plane safely because once everyone is unconscious, there's really nothing that can be done.
Great glory. Beloved, before we go into this, some of you already know what happened here. We're just going to go in depth and telling the others that do not know exactly what's going on here. First, let's look at the title. Millionaire's daughter, granddaughter, aboard crash plane. So this plane belonged to a millionaire, a so-called elite. First, this elite has his family in a jet, private jet, a Cessna, whatever the model was. Now, what had happened is this jet somewhat lose control. Somewhat the pilot, because this is what they are saying, this is what they are giving unto us. Oh, it may have been hypoxia. This pilot lose or lost control, and he pass out, everybody pass out, and the jet crash. That's what they said. Let's see what the mighty one said. First, this guy is the so-called an elite, a millionaire, so to speak. His daughter, granddaughter, the nanny, I believe his wife, everybody that was on board, they all know more. And we know for a fact. Now, let me give a disclaimer before I go ahead and say what I'm going to say. In no shape or form, I'm a pilot, an expert like those people, because they always have an expert for every single thing that happened, okay? Everything that happened, they already bring an expert gonna tell you exactly what it is. I am not an expert. What I know, the sonic boom. Anytime you hear the boom, we have a word for that. It's called the Leyline. It's called the boom tube. We've been talking about this for the past 3 years. What you're just seeing here is a manifestation of the Michael line. It's the Leyline that switched. The Leyline switch a few days ago in India caused a train wreck. Talking about the train wreck, this was horrible. Killed over 300 or 280 people. I'm not quite sure. We will make another short video about that. Now, what seems to be the problem here? Why is it that the so-called 83 cannot travel on land, on the sea, and in the air? For the video that we published, the Esau's Trouble, you see how two giant Navy ships almost collided together. They didn't even see each other until they were nose to nose. And they threatened the guy to take down the video. That is because they cannot navigate through the water the way they used to. Why is it this thing happening in India? It's been happening over and over. Train derailment also. You mean to tell me the so-called elite went all the way to India, derailed those trains, and killed over 300 people? For what? Because they want to bring the New World Order? Because they want to bring Jacob's trouble? Is that what that is? If this is Jacob's trouble, then we are not Jacob. Because all we've been seeing is the so-called millionaires, billionaires, 83s catching nothing but hell. Now, beloved, I'm not gloating. No, I'm not cheering over this. This is a family that had been perished. We went in through this. This is Esau's trouble. Although the video is not about the whole Esau's trouble, gonna stay right here. But this is Esau's trouble. Point one, this guy is a millionaire. He lost his daughter, his granddaughter, their nanny. I believe the wife, I'm not quite sure. Now, the video. This fellow name is David. That is his first name, so to speak. That's the name we see here. And the second name of this woman right here is Michelle Charlesworth. Okay, Navarro, I'm not going to go into this. I'll let the people in the comment board to do your own research. Please help the nation out. Okay, put what the name Navarro mean. Okay, or Navarro. Navarro mean and Charlesworth. Okay, I believe Charles is something like a king or something, but put it there. David, the house of David, Yasharallah, Israel, Michelle, Michael, and the Miss, Daniel 12:1. Every single person that been following us, studying with us, know exactly what that is. Michael is indeed in the midst, and the Michael line, aka the Leyline, has switched. The boom tube that you heard is nothing but the so-called UFO or the Chariots taking those people down. It has nothing to do with the fighter jets, and we will go ahead a little bit further to explain unto you why. All right, let's watch this step by step. And then we're going to give the point.
We begin with that developing story. A sonic boom rattled nerves across Washington.
Again, anytime you hear the word sonic boom, it's a boom tube, a ley line, a portal that has been opened. Okay? Now, if you look at this symbol right here, this is a pentacle, of course. This is a pentacle. Okay, it has a geometric figure which is inside of a circle. All right, this is very powerful. However, this one is not from the light. Of course, they took the Holy Pyramid, the three. Oops. All right, 6 o'clock. The Holy Pyramid, the three-pointed, which is physical, astral, and mental. They flip it upside down. Okay. This pyramid is upside down. It was supposed to be up, all right? And they put the sun in the middle of it. Of course, as above, so below. There is a sun above us and a sun below us. So Virginia, the Virgin, Virgo, Earth, and all that. You study with us, you know what that is. Let's keep on moving.
In D.C. yesterday, we now know it was caused by F-16 fighter jets traveling at supersonic speed, tracking a small jet that entered restricted airspace.
That's a bunch of garbage. That's a bunch of nothing but trash and rubbish. Let me tell you something about F-16 or deploying things like that. You see, the military have technologies, well, I'm not going to say so advanced, but so far beyond any of the public comprehension. If they even suspect anything like an airplane or an identified, well, first of all, this was not an identified airplane. This was identified. If they even suspect one of those airplanes enter a violated space area, first of all, they will know that prior, like 15, 20 minutes before. They will see this airplane and their radar proceed straight. They usually warn the pilot like 30 minutes, like I'm not quite sure if it's 30 minutes or 30 miles or 50 miles to stay away from certain place. The plane don't reach the exact forbidden place or the prohibited place, and then they notify them. There is a pre-forbidden or pre-prohibited space that is at least 10, 20, 50 miles away. They will say, hey, you are about to enter a restricted area, turn around. And if there is no immediate response, they will not send a jet, they will send drone. They already have drone. They will send a drone to check you out. Okay, the drone cannot make sonic boom because they are too small and they do not have the speed. Before you even reach the restricted area, you will reach a pre-restricted area. That's like how when you are driving, okay, you see a sign that say the next exit or the next rest stop is 250 miles or 50 miles, or the next exit is 2-3 miles ahead. They give you a heads up. Now, before you reach this exit, you will know that, hey, I'm about to reach this exit, I'm about to reach this, and then you will either take the exit or past it. That's how it is with the so-called military. They have a perimeter that is restricted, and they have another perimeter outside the restricted perimeter that is a warning. They will give you a warning, say, hey, you're about to enter, get out. They will not wait until you enter and then everybody's crumbling and going around getting their jet. You know how long it is to get a pilot, get in there, run, get in their jet, and then fly at supersonic speed. They will not reach this. Okay? That has nothing to do with that. That is one. That is two. The third one, the airplane, the towers, they are always in communication with any place that have restricted space. If the tower, they're always monitoring and they always keep an eye on the trajectory of this airplane, which is the jet, the Cessna that has carried those people, they would have already contacted the so-called the military base and saying, hey, we have this family, this aircraft that has these people in there. We're trying to reach them. They are unresponsive, and we check their airplane. It seems, or not seems, we check it in our computer. It says that their oxygen fell. They're going to crash. And we predicted they are going to crash over in somewhere, but not in the restricted area. They would have already seen that, the towers. They would have already called like minutes before. They would have said, hey, those people are not responding. They are headed towards you. They are headed towards the restricted place. And go ahead and check on them and see what's going on. That's the third thing. Before all of this happened, okay? All right, let's keep on moving.
That jet crashed in Virginia.
The plane, a Cessna Citation, initially headed to Long Island's MacArthur Airport, and on board, along with the pilot, a mother, her 2-year-old daughter, and a nanny, all returning to their home in East Hampton.
Okay, so a mother, a daughter, and a nanny. This man lost all his family. Those are 3 human beings here, all right? Let me enlarge this. Enlarge this so that people can see here the faces of those people. Those are millionaires, okay? Those are the future. That's this little girl here. She was going to inherit this whatever billions or millions of dollars or company or the blessing that those people was enjoying. Yet they are no more. And this thing was not caused by the so-called loss of oxygen. That's a bunch of bull. You mean to tell me the so-called millionaires have a plane, which is a jet, which in so bad of a condition that maintenance did not double check, triple check the oxygen machine or their monitoring machine to see that everything is good. And to add insult and injury, the airplane lose fuel. They most likely run out of fuel. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Are you really sitting in there and telling me this airplane run out of fuel? That's why it failed. No, that's not what that is, man. You see, before those people take off, they have the money. They will make sure the pilot, this is his duty. He will make sure every single thing is done properly. The airplane has a full tank that he can either go back and forth, okay, without refueling. A simple flight from wherever they were to Virginia, that's not going to take the whole fuel. That's barely going to take a quarter of that fuel. If they run out of fuel, that means the pilot, what is there's a fuel station up there? Is that what that is? Or they like those military airplane where they have those giant airplane that basically a gas station and they will fuel up there? Is that what that is? That's what the pilot was trying to do. He was trying to flew and find a gas station up there and then landed or get some fuel or landed on another airport. No, this plane was filled to the brim. That's not what that is. All right, let's keep on moving.
ABC's Rena Roy joining us now live with the latest. Rena.
Yeah, David and Michelle, when this boom rang out across the D.C. metro area.
Okay, her name again is Rena. Okay, Roy. Now, I'm not going to go into the name Rena. Somebody will define this on the comment board. Roy is Wa or king in French. Well, this is a perverted version. Roy is ROI. Well, Gentiles will say return on investment, but Roi in French mean king. So Rena Roy, king. Okay, we know what that means and who they are talking about.
Rang out across the D.C. metro area. People were calling 911 to report it because there were a lot of questions about exactly where it came from.
Now, keep in mind, beloved, the plane that crashed is a F-16. 1 + 6, you know what to do in the comment board.
Turns out that sonic boom was caused by fighter jets, as you said, breaking the sound barrier to track that plane in the restricted airspace.
Scary moments in the nation's capital Sunday. A sonic boom heard for miles across Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area.
Let me tell you something. The so-called F-16, 1 + 6 = 7 perfection, cannot make a sonic boom that can be heard miles away. That's a lie. Those things do shows all over and places. The sonic boom cannot travel that far. That's not what that is. Of course, I really like this symbolic, 1, 2, 3, 4. I really like the symbolic things over there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4, 4, 4 inside of a 4 and both sides. I really like this symbolic thing and all those 4s over here. If you know what those 4 is, put them in the comment board if you've been studying with us. You cannot listen. Those people hear the sonic boom while they were playing loud music inside of the house. It startled them. That means this boom was not only was powerful, but this thing was closer to them. At least that's what it appealed to me. All right? They were frightened. They jumped. An F-16 cannot do this. An F-16 that traveled 34,000 feet high cannot produce, even low, cannot produce a sonic boom that loud and startle those people. Let's watch it again. Here you go.
Sunday, a sonic boom heard for miles across Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area.
Very jarring.
We thought it was probably an earthquake.
People on edge as
Exactly. We thought it was an earthquake. You know why? Because, well, it's a boom tube, the Leyline switch. It's a portal that is open, and one of our quote-unquote, got out and took this thing down. Okay? You don't know what those people were going to do or what they done. Maybe they were key people into going to do something that would relate it to us or related to our children, or they have done already. And now those people are being no more because, hey man, that's exactly what happened. Boom, the Leyline switch.
Authorities work to figure out the source. Officials say a civilian jet aircraft, a Cessna Citation, flew through restricted airspace, the pilot failing to respond to air traffic control. U.S. military quickly launching 6 F-16 fighter jets from 3 bases.
Okay, 3 bases. They sent 6 F-16 fighter jet. This is overkill. This is overkill. Again, they would have not sent fighter jet. The moment the traffic control, okay, contact them, they would have sent drone to check this thing out. They sent 6 jet. That's overkill.
To track the plane as it headed south into Virginia. 2 F-16s over Washington having to travel at supersonic speed to catch up with the Cessna jet, creating that sonic boom that reverberated across the region. The Cessna spotted at 34,000 feet over a remote area in Virginia. The pilot still not responding. The fighter jets even firing flares to try to alert the civilian pilot, but officials say the pilot appeared to be unconscious.
That's not what that is. All those, I don't know why those people are making this here. Anyway, F-16, 1 plus 6, you know what to do. 34,000 feet. 3 plus 4, 4 plus 0, 0, 0. You know what to do, you know what's going on. First of all, this thing traveling 34,000 feet high, and those people, how could you see? For you to be able to see this pilot and the other plane to be appear to pass out, you must have fly very close to this guy. See, when you are up there and watching another plane, the glare, the clouds, the wind, you will not see really well. They fire flares and stuff like that to alert the pilot and stuff. They would have known exactly if this guy, they have machine above those F-16 jets radar that can read those airplanes. They will see if the oxygen fell, if the pilot is unconscious. They would have known all of those stuff because these things are quite somewhat advanced. But they just said, oh, well, we fired a flare to alert the pilot. No, that's not what that is.
The plane likely ran out of fuel, taking a dive and crashing 10 minutes later in a rural area.
That's not, I don't know what that is. The plane likely run out of fuel. Likely run out of fuel. What is this? Let's see the Cessna Citation fuel range. I really don't want to do this, but man, I really need to get Google on this stuff, man. Let me see what we're getting here. Cessna Jet Citation fuel range.
According to Business Jet Traveler, the Cessna Citation jet has a range of 750 miles.
750 miles. Okay, let's see. Where did this airplane took off from? Let's look at an article. Jet crash, sonic boom, Virginia. Okay. Feds probe. All right, let's see where this plane took off from. The pilot on an responsive private jet trigger interception. The lone pilot and 3 passengers aboard the Cessna that crashed in heavily wooded area near Waynesboro, Virginia. God, I hate those things. YouTube going to get me for this, man. Waynesboro, Virginia. Let's copy this. Let's see Google Earth. .com/Earth. See what's going on here. Let's see where exactly this thing is in Virginia. This place. All right. There you go. All right. Now, that's Waynesboro. Let's see where the thing is. That's where it's crashed? Okay, that's where it's crashed. But where did it take off? The Federal Aviation Monday. Another source told CNN crashing without most interpreted and hypoxia shortage. Okay, hypoxia risk. Yeah. Risk of uncommunication. When the F-16 says the pilot flare release. What did it pick up? What did it? Okay, all right. The flight turned around and kept flying for more than 300 miles. Let's see. Also, key to investigate, a source familiar with the investigation says is the function of the plane's autopilot. The flight turned around and kept flying for more than 300 miles before crashing. You know what? Let's see. Cessna. Let me see. Let's see the name of the article. Plane crash, Virginia. U.S. fighter jet. Oops. There we go. Nope. I didn't copy it. You know what? Let me stop this and go get it right quick. All right. So they said the FAA said the Cessna Citation took off from Elizabethton, Tennessee on Sunday and was headed for Long Island's McArthur Airport. Inexplicably, the plane turned around over New York's Long Island and flew in a straight path down to DC before it crashes around 3:30. Now let's watch. Let's go ahead and inexplicably. All right, whatever. Man. Okay, so the plane took off. Okay, let me see. Let me put this. I think Google right here. Cessna Citation jet fuel length.
According to Wikipedia, the Cessna Citation is a family of business jets by Cessna that started in 1970.
That's not range. Cessna Citation jet range.
According to Wikipedia, the Cessna Citation is a family of business jets by Cessna that started in 1972 with the entry into service of the first model.
I think I had it there. How did I say this thing again? Fuel range. Okay, fuel range. Okay, 750 miles. That's the fuel range on one of those Cessna, okay? 750 miles, all right? Now, it took off from Elizabethton right here, and it was supposed to go to Long Island, New York. Let's see if we can measure that. Let's see, we can measure in miles from Elizabeth to all the way to New York. Okay, to New York right here. So that's 588 miles. Now, let's see. Calculator. Let's put the calculator here. Calculator. Say 750 miles minus 588 miles. So 162 miles. All right. That's 162 miles the airplane would have. All right. So now they say the airplane flew there. It passed. Okay. It passed over whatever Virginia. Once it reached New York, it turned around by itself. It turned around by itself. Okay. So it turned around by itself and crashed in Virginia. Okay. Now, 588, if it was full, of course it was full. Okay, 588 miles, so he got 162 miles in it. Now let's see if the airplane reached New York and turned and crashed there. Let's see what's the range here. Okay, start new, copy. Okay, let's put it right there. Let's put 580 whatever miles here. Now let's start a new one from New York to right over here. So okay, so you mean to tell me this airplane reached New York, turn around and go crash in Waynesboro, and which is 361 miles. So 361 miles. Okay, remember we only have 162 miles in there for fuel. So 162, and they said the distance is 361. Let's take away 361. So that airplane has like 199 worth of fuel. So that's how far they made it. Okay, that's how far they made it. So they reached their destination. Inexplicably, they turned back. They had fuel all the way enough to go crash in Waynesboro. Is that what that is? An airplane of 750 miles, that's the range, that's the fuel range, from Elizabeth to New York, which is 588 miles. They should have already reached that, okay? And then if this thing, and they say the airplane turned back by itself, inexplicably, they're going to give you a bunch of crap. Oh, automatically, the airplane is to be going to the plane of origin. That's a lie. Automatically, the airplane will look for the closest airport and land by itself, not back to the place, because it will calculate the fuel and stuff. So now, you mean to tell me an airplane that came from all the way from Elizabethton to New York, which is about 588 miles, the airplane can go 750 miles. It should have made it over there, but it didn't. It turned around, okay, and it has somewhere 162 miles on it. It managed to make it 361 miles and go crash in Washington. You mean so this airplane 100 and, let's see, start anew. From New York, let's put it 162 miles would have been New Jersey. Yeah, would have been where? Where is that? What is this place here? Okay, well, Cornville. It would have been somewhere in New Jersey. Is that? And Philly. Is that Pennsylvania? What is this place? That's done. Let's start a new one. Let's start a new. Okay, let's say 161 miles. Try to put it somewhere we can. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It would have been in New Jersey. All right. 162 would have been in Newark. Is that what that is? Is it Newark, New Jersey here? 161 miles. Let's put it under 95. Oh, good grief. I don't want to do this, but anyway. Maryland. Okay, would have crashed in Maryland? Is that what that is? Let's put it right there in Maryland. Okay? It would have crashed right there in Maryland. Yet, it managed to go another, okay, another 199 miles and crash in D.C. This is the type of garbage they are telling people. Oh, okay, well, you know, the stuff, and you know, inexplicably at hypoxia, and when the F-16s, which the Cessna at 3:20 p.m., the jet pilot set off flare in effort to get the pilot attention on Sunday. New release and continue to do whatever. The pilot was unresponsive and stuff like that. Okay. Let me see. Okay, the civilian aircraft flew from Elizabethton, Tennessee, past its destination, New York's Long Island, and McCarthy Airport, and then, okay, McCarthy, Long Island, and then turned back before eventually crashing Virginia on Sunday. Is that what that is? Air traffic. So you mean to tell me this plane travel from Wayne, reaches destination, turn around, and you go crash in Waynesboro right here? It would have needed an additional 200 miles worth of fuel in it. That's a bunch of garbage. That is because what took this thing down, you people don't want to say it. And this plane what took down like a long time ago. They didn't know how to. Oh man. Anyway, man. So let's keep on moving. See, this is how much lies they are telling the people. Anyway, let's keep on moving.
Killing all on board.
The aircraft was at 34,000 feet. It stayed at 34,000 feet, and it stayed on a constant heading. So it didn't seem like it was a big threat.
Some experts believe a lack of oxygen, a condition called hypoxia, may have incapacitated the pilot and passengers.
That's a lie. First of all, if the moment this thing went down, it would have sent a signal to the traffic tower. They would have said, oh, their stuff went down. It's hypoxia. This thing went down. So they're going to have to call around and say stuff. And first of all, who on earth walked at that air traffic for this thing to miss? And instead of like, who walk at the New York airport, Long Island air traffic, they were expecting this place, this airplane, which reached them and turned around and they didn't contact them. You know how far for this thing to travel, okay, which is, let me see, done. Okay, 160 miles, it turned around. The moment this thing missed its stuff, they would have contacted the pilot and say, what's going on? The moment he's not responding, they would have checked the vital of the plane and the computer, and they would have said something is wrong, sent the stuff, said. They waited 200 miles. Do you know what it is to travel 200 miles? You know how long that would take for them to contact and say anything? Because it's a bunch of garbage. That's what that is.
Pressurization on an airplane compresses the air in the cabin to make sure that there's enough oxygen so that you can survive, and sometimes that pressurization may fail.
That's a lie. First of all, this is a multi-millionaire aircraft jet. Everything should have worked in it. The moment, quote unquote, their oxygen fell, the little oxygen mask would have deployed. Maybe one may not deploy. You mean the whole system fell? The whole system fell. There were 4 people on board. Of course, the number 4 still in the midst of 4 corners. You know what to do. So all of them fell. Not the one from the back. Not only the one for the pilot fell. First of all, those pilots, they have the one that fall up there from the above the head, and they have another emergency one. I'm not quite sure where it is. The moment the air pressure dropped and then it's not deploying, they would have literally tell everybody, grab the one that the emergency one, wear this, wear that. They should have wear it too. Those are multi-million-dollar jet, man. They yo, don't give me this stuff, man. They prepare for this thing, man. That's not what happened.
Now, aviation experts say there was really no way to help land this plane safely because once everyone is unconscious, there's really nothing that can be done.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, man, just put this garbage out there, try to, diminish the power of the Holy One. This thing was caused by the Leyline, a chariot, the boom tube, the Leyline switch. That's what happened.